Alright, let's see. Make them fetishize you. When Marlene Dietrich entered a room or arrived at a party, all eyes inevitably turned to her. First, there were her startling clothes, chosen to make heads turn. Then there was her air of nonchalant indifference. Men and women too became obsessed with her, fetishizing her long after other memories of the evening had faded. She had a distance from her own self. She could study her face, her legs, her body as if she were someone else. This gave her the ability to mold her look, transforming her appearance for effect. She was like a beautiful object, something to fetishize and admire the way we admire a work of art. If you see yourself as an object, then others will too. An ethereal, dreamlike air will heighten the effect. Consider yourself a blank screen. Float through life non-committally, and people will want to seize you and consume you. Of all the parts of your body that draw this fetishistic attention, the strongest is the face. So learn to tune your face like an instrument, making it radiate fascinating vagueness for effect. And since you will have to stand out from other stars in the sky, you will need to develop an attention-getting style. Dietrich was the great practitioner of this art. Her style was chic enough to dazzle, weird enough to enthrall. Daily law, your own image and presence are materials you can control. The sense that you are engaged in this kind of play will make people see you as superior and worthy of imitation. That's from The Art of Seduction, The Star. I believe in that chapter also. He talks about Marilyn Monroe and how she did the same thing with her voice, the way she talked, and the way she brought out like this childlike innocence to her, and that was juxtaposed against her savage sexuality. That was all a work of art. She did that on purpose. That's a great book, The Art of Seduction. All right, let's see here. Turn this down. Put on the classical. All right. Today, I crossed the valley on surface streets. There's some sort of situation on the freeway, and I just don't want to take a chance because I've already had that happen where they shoot me way past the interchange to hit the 405, and then I'm double back. It becomes a whole thing. That's what's going on today. So safe journeys across the valley on the surface streets. And I guess I could quickly find a route to the 405 without having to cross the entire valley, but that takes me into areas I don't want to be in. And where I can hit the 405 on the other side of the valley, it's not bad. So that's the reason I'm doing this. So this will be a little bit of a longer video than normal. We'll see. Normally they're around 35-ish minutes, something like that, depending. Yeah, I could do probably what that page says pretty easy, especially because my look is already different than most guys. So if I wanted to track the tension, especially from women, I could probably really play on that. I think where I lack the ability to cultivate is an air of mystery. Because I have a big mouth and I talk loud. People get a sense of who I am rather quickly. And I think I've read in that book, you don't want to do that too much. You want to give away just enough to make them curious, but not enough that they're like, oh, okay, figure this guy out. And since I'm not really even playing, I don't play the game, but I'm curious about it. That's why I just observe that in myself. All right, so we're gonna make the left here, bypass the on ramp, and then I guess Burbank to Balboa, all the way across the valley. See how this goes. That's a weird use of that word, though. Fetishize. When you hear that word, or when I hear that word, I normally think of like weird stuff. I don't really think of like how he describes it. So I guess the word means a lot more than I had realized. But I guess like if you're, wow, this route is so strange to me. It's very foreign to see all this area this time of the day. Um, but I guess like if you take yourself to be what is the fetish, people have weird fetishes like foot fetish and like I guess like the dominatrix stuff is considered a fetish, and I guess it's just stuff people specifically like. So if you apply that to how you're making yourself, I guess you could say you're making people specifically like you. But if you take like the sex out of it, I mean, I guess we all kind of do that, right? I mean, nobody wants to not be liked. Why? Why are you in the middle of the road? Alright, so now this is the road across the valley. Wait to make my turn. Hurry up. And then hopefully my exit, that'd be fun, that'd be terrible, but like kind of funny, ironically funny. If I'm doing all this to avoid this disaster over here, whatever they're doing over here, just to have my exit closed over there near work, and then I have to figure that out. Wow, that's crazy to see this street like this, completely empty. I haven't seen this like this in a while. Especially right here because there's a park and a golf course on both sides. So it's like super dark on both sides. Do, 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 do. So after tinkering around a little more with Claude, Turns out what I thought was like material for what could be a movie about my life is turning into a series. I kind of thought that too, but I didn't know which way to go. I was like, well, a series sounds like a lot. The movies, just, one and done, whole thing just told. But after like expanding some material within Claude, it's funny because it's like I'm talking to a person, so I was talking to it, and it suggested, with the amount of material that you have, this would actually be much better played out in the form of a limited series. Like, I think it suggested like an 8-part limited series. I think. And it kind of explained why, the amount of detail that you could flesh out of each, with the scenes and each act, and it broke it down like which scenes would be in each episode. And I was like, oh, well, this kind of sounds like a great idea. So I guess I'm doing that now. Let's see what happens with that. And I asked it to really lean into the serendipitous aspects of some of the major events. I can make this light. Remember a long time ago when I used to take this route, switching subjects real quick. I kind of had it timed where I hit green lights all the way down, and when I did that, it didn't take that much longer than being on the freeway to get to work. That one turned red. Start coasting. But yeah, anyways, that's what I'm playing around with Claude. And I'm like reading some of this stuff to my woman. She's like, it's like listening to work. It's all new and kind of exciting to me. But since she's worked in the industry, she's like, this is work. Kind of funny. I haven't been down this way so long. It's interesting to see what's been built, like in some of these little, like a lot of it's the same, but in some of these little, like commercial real estate with the stores. See what kind of stuff is in there now. Road work ahead. There's fucking road work everywhere. Expect delays. What? From 7/7 to 8/10. I wonder what they're doing around here. There's a cannabis dispensary. It looks like a damn kid's shop with all the little cartoon stickers on the fucking window. That's crazy. These places shouldn't be able to look like that. You just look like you're trying to attract kids. Look like cartoon characters. It's not like they're hard to find. They should just be nondescript. Display the leaf in the proper form and don't make it look like a damn Pokemon character. That's crazy. And then there should be like a size that the leaf has to be in. Just keep it adults. Fuck. Bad enough that it's just everywhere. No, I'm not gonna make this one. Maybe I am. Oh, I made it. Oh, gotta make it. Cool. Alright, I'm almost there. More than past the halfway point, I believe. I think. Maybe not. Maybe it's about halfway. Yeah, this is quite a distance when I walked from. I've walked this distance a couple times, to be honest. From my house to. Well, at the time, it was my girlfriend's house. My parents' house. My woman. Start coasting towards a red light. The local in and out. Come on. Let's see. Almost to my parents' house. My childhood arcade was right here. I remember the last time I was there. I don't know if I told this story. I think I already did. Tell it again. So the last time I was there, I was probably a little older, maybe in like mid-teens ish, say 15. Probably not driving yet. And that's when like Street Fighter, maybe Street Fighter 2 ish was very popular. And for anybody who's never really been in the arcade world all that often, what happens is like, especially with super popular, here's my parents' house right here. Super popular video games, there'll be like, obviously two people playing against each other at the machine, and then a bunch of kids around. And there's a lot of people that just stand and watch. Well, I was kind of waiting my turn, kind of in the group of kids that were standing around. And I finally got my turn. And, the crowd of people was like right next to you and behind you. And as I'm playing, like I feel something like graze my crotch. And I kind of glance to my left, and it's this like older guy. He probably was already in his maybe 30s. He didn't look like super old, but he was older than kids. And he had like one hand like on the machine, and then like in his other hand, kind of like down by his side, but like with a rolled up, like what looked like a maybe like a magazine or a newspaper. It was kind of like rolled up in his hand. And this guy was like built. He was like he worked out. He had like kind of like a muscle shirt on, kind of like I wear, just with the sleeves cut off. And he looked kind of like shady when I kind of like looked down and I looked at him. And I just kept playing the game, but in my head, I'm like, I think this fucking guy just touched me. And he has a magazine in his hand. It's like a kind of like the excuse, like if something did, then maybe it was that. And he could say, "Oh, sorry, it was the magazine." But he looked like there was something about this guy's vibe. I was like, "Ooh, this guy comes here to check out kids." So I intentionally let whoever I was playing on that game beat me. And I was there with a friend. So after he beat me on the game, I was like, oh, okay, done. So I walked away and I went and got my friend. I'm like, let's get the fuck out of here. That was the last time I ever went back there. I was like, fuck that place. And thinking about it later, like way later in life when I was older, I was like, that place was probably that was Chuck E. Cheese for fucking pedophiles who wanted to check out kids. Because it's not like Chuck E. Cheese. Chuck E. Cheese has a lot of parents there. It's not just kids running around. This arcade is nothing but a bunch of kids. And then maybe the couple adults that actually work there. But there's not very many adults there. So if you're a pedophile, that's like fucking Disneyland for you. And that's the day I realized it. I was like, ooh, what the fuck just happened? And I never went back. I used to go there like forever. My dad used to take me. That was probably one of the more positive memories I have with my dad, when he used to take me to the arcade. You know, it's like a love-hate relationship with me and my dad. And there's probably an equal amount of good. There's probably actually more good memories with him than bad. But to be honest, I mean, the bad seems so bad that it just like outweighs what felt like good memories. I think that's what it is. And as good a father as he was, it just seems like he'd ruin it all by who he'd turn into whenever he was drunk. And for a while during my childhood, that seemed pretty often that he was drunk. So that's probably why I have such negative memories. Alright, coming up on my on ramp. So that was the trek across the valley. That whole stretch. Coming up on my left turn to the on ramp. Oh. Give me my arrow so I can make my turn. Yeah, but that was scary when that happened in the arcade. I was little. Or younger. I forget how he was standing. I think he was maybe leaning, and he had like his hands like crossed like this, like at his waist. By the time I looked, I put it together in my head real quick. I was like, no, that's not what just happened. I know what you want me to think just happened. That's not what happened. And especially after I looked down, like I looked at him like in the face, and he was just like looking at me like it wasn't a friendly look. It looked like intense, like he knew he just kind of got caught. And that's why I was like, oh, I'm getting the fuck out of here. That wasn't a friendly look. I don't even know if I've ever told my parents that, to be honest. I don't think I've ever told my parents that story. I just never went back to the arcade. That was it. But yeah, that's what happened. So any parents out there who might be watching this, keep a close eye on your kids, especially nowadays. Although there's so many surveillance cameras around now, I mean, who knows? Maybe it's even safer in this day and age. I mean, you can't go anywhere without there being some sort of camera on you, so there's not much you can do without at least being recorded. I don't know about being caught, but you're just going to get recorded. Let me see. I've been filming for 27 minutes. That's what this says. Turn straighten out the frame. Yeah, 27 minutes. And I probably got another at least 15 minutes on here. It's not too bad. It's actually kind of almost the same. Nah, it's about at least 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes longer, I think. Having to cross the valley on the surface streets. Yeah, it's pretty wild how much a target the youth is, especially like the very young, impressionable kids. Like some of the cartoons and stuff that are on, like, I guess there's like Netflix shows that are geared towards kids, and like, I don't know if it's Cartoon Network, I don't know what it was, but I've seen clips from cartoons that kids are watching, talking about like trans stuff. It's very interesting. But I know for the most part, the parents aren't sitting there with the kids watching cartoons. I mean, I'm sure there are some parents that do, but for the most part, it's like a babysitter for most parents. You know, just turn on some cartoons and it keeps the kid quiet and still for a little bit. They know they're not out, somewhere in the house hurting themselves or getting into things they're not supposed to. So it's a good way to focus their attention. But now, like, these cartoons are sneaking in stuff that they're going to absorb into their mind. It's like, that's crazy. That should not be allowed. It's like when I was a kid, if they were like putting like characters in like cartoons that were just gay. That was the thing when I was young. That would be the equal, similar situation. Make characters talk about their sexuality. Why is that even important in a cartoon? And then it's sneaky how they try to like say it's just like a natural part of the development, that would be what the child was curious about. But then you point to those cartoons, it's like, no, you planted that seed. You specifically presented this type of information into their mind. And that's what makes them curious. That shit didn't start on its own. You mentioned it. Like the Tooth Fairy. If you don't mention anything about the Tooth Fairy or Santa Claus to kids, they won't make it up on their own. You plant that seed. Then it becomes a curious belief. So that's why it's like when it comes to like the nature and nurture stuff, I do believe it's a bit of both, but I think it's more nurture than nature. Especially because like we're social creatures and we grow up around each other, and there's like this need to want to fit into the group. Nobody wants to be cast out. Because like in our like caveman DNA, like that would signal death. The group is safety, and anything outside of that would signal death. You cannot survive on your own. So it's very important to be able to be accepted by the group. And that's why you have like these little instances, and like I think they did studies on like the percentage of kids that identify in that whole group of letters, and they were startled to find out there's like shows up like an infection. Like when you find one and you start talking to their friends and you find another and another, and it's like these little pods that like pop up. And that's because they want to fit in with their group. So they'll take on this persona, and they're young and they're experimenting and trying to figure out who they are. And that's how that shit develops inside their mind and crystallizes into like a firm belief. But if no one around them is talking about this shit, it's not gonna just pop up on its own. That's why I always push back. It's like, no, that's not just natural. Natural, the root word of natural is nature. And the very nature of the genders is to procreate. That's the only reason for different genders. It's for the act of procreation. That's it. The whole topic's very strange to even have to have as a conversation. It's like I would have thought everybody was absolutely nuts. Like when I was like 10, maybe. If you were to tell me this was going to be like a conversation that people have, or like something they would have to watch out for. I've been like 15. But now this is just like a commonplace thing. Alright, hopefully my exit is open. Coming up on that pretty soon. 2 right lanes closed ahead. Lovely. Let's see how that goes. sometimes that sign is on, and it's like they just forgot to turn it off. Because it said that before, and then there's like no lanes all the way to my exit. Nothing was closed. So we'll see. Boy, it's warm in here now. It's going to be another hot day today. Alright, there's the arrows. Let's see. Yeah, I probably should have just got off right there at Magic Mountain. Yep, probably. Let's see. Maybe I'm okay. Maybe that was the only thing. Alright. I think we're good. Yep, we're okay. Maybe one day they'll actually finish this. Maybe one day they'll finish the work. Boom. 38 minutes this video has been going. So it's not actually that worse. I think that's not that bad. It's like 10 extra minutes. Something like that. Alrighty. Alright. And action. Yep, coming up on 40 minutes. So it's roughly 10 minutes more just to get across the valley on Circus Street. So that's not bad. But I think some of these videos that I normally do are like 32 minutes, 35 minutes, or whatever. Let's just say 10 extra minutes. By the time I park and turn it off, it'll be like 41, 42. I'm already tired. Feel it. I just need caffeine. I'll be fine. I'll be fine. Oop. All right. I'm here. Everybody have a great day.